Hey everybody, it's On Screen, Off Screen, where we see how media affects us and how our lives affect how we see media. Um, I don't know if I introduced us, but it's Josh, Colin, and myself, Lauren. And I am interested in Colin's topic because I don't know of anybody else who has seen Kyle XY.
I love this show. I love this show so much. So, Josh just talked about multiple different shows that are like pivotal to his growing up, and Kyle XY is a pivotal show to me. I've watched this show countless times. It's probably the show I've watched the most besides How I Met Your Mother as far as times over and over again because there was a point where I was obsessed with this show. It starts off have you ever heard of this or seen this, Josh, at all?
It's a very popular, very big show. Yes. I have not seen it,
Okay.
but it is very highly spoken of. It's a big show.
Okay. I was obsessed with this, and basically it revolves around a mystery. I'm not going to give it away because I think you should watch it, but it revolves around a mystery of Kyle. He wakes up with no memory, and he's just able to learn things at a remarkable rate. It seems almost like he's superhuman, and they try to figure out where he comes from, how he was made, um, and just like the mystery behind it. And he gets adopted into this family, and the family is great. The mom and father, dad are both like super competent. They're a great pair. They actually show good parents in a way that very few shows do. The sister and the brother have to deal with having this new foster kid in their life, Kyle, and having to deal with him as he's learning and growing and all the weird stuff that is Kyle. And they all have to deal with their own problems. One of my favorite episodes, Kyle is incredibly good at learning things, and one of those things is math. And so he learns how to play basketball, and it's all just math. And he can hit hoops from halfway across the court without any problems. And the dad all of a sudden has somebody to root for because he was a jock in high school. And Kyle is now a jock and he's doing so good and he's like the star of the team and he's so proud. But his son is not that way. He's kind of a punk kid and he feels like he's getting left behind and then his dad doesn't care about him and he has to deal with those really personal family dynamic situations and it's done great. The daughter has to deal with a boyfriend and like the pressures of does he just want to sleep with me? Does he actually care about me? And it's hard for her. And you deal with that struggle with her. You deal with that struggle with her girlfriends, and they actually have girl talk that feels really authentic and well done. I love this show. I love basically everything about it for the first two seasons. First two seasons are absolutely amazing. The reason that I started rewatching this is I was having a incredibly like just so depressed time last week. I had a day where I felt it's when that depression is like so deep that it's become soul weary, like you feel like your soul is tired. And my wife was trying to help me feel better. Kyle has a main relationship with this girl named Amanda, and I love their relationship. It is one of the relationships that like made me want to fall in love and have a good relationship when I was like 13, 14 years old. Um, I wanted a girl like Amanda. And I was super depressed. I hadn't thought about this show in years. Even though it was so important to me, I really hadn't thought about it. And my wife could see that I was just struggling. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act. And there's this episode where Amanda's mom doesn't want Amanda to see Kyle. And Amanda's this like prodigy on the piano. She is incredible. She's going to a school for piano. Amanda decides to quit, hasn't touched it for months, and can see that Kyle is struggling. Kyle is her next door neighbor, and she starts playing the piano because she knows that Kyle can hear her playing from next door. And it was like, for me, when I was 14-ish years old, maybe 15, that was like the epitome of what love was. was Amanda just playing piano for her boyfriend next door who she knows is struggling, who she can't see, but she can reach with music. And it was incredible. And I was sitting there on the couch having a absolutely freaking horrible day. And my wife just starts playing the piano. And this core memory of this TV show literally bounced back into my head while I was sitting there and actually made me emotional. And I decided to start rewatching this freaking great show. I'm super grateful for my wife. I'm super grateful for music. Music can capture you, can literally take you from being in this incredibly depressed spot to having a little bit of hope, to seeing a little bit of light. It can show the connection between people, and it's just really cool. I love this show. I love the characters, and it was a cool moment for me. It was a really cool aspect of my last week.
That's a really cool connection to have, like, your wife and then, like, having that be like, oh, I wish I had somebody like Amanda. And then you're like, oh my gosh, my wife's like Amanda.
Yeah,
So that's
100%.
cool.
It was super cool for me. I was like, Amanda was like a teenage crush of a TV show for me. It was cool. I genuinely loved it.
My connection with this show is not as cool as yours.
What is your connection?
I huge crush on Kyle. He's
Okay.
gay. The actor's gay.
I did not know that.
He was my first celebrity crush that I found out was gay. And then I started looking into all my other celebrity crushes and I was like, what? Why are they all gay?
So
So
I don't
yeah.
I don't know why this made me think of this. What is this show called? Apple just put out a new TV show or a new movie, and it sucks, and I hate it. And I wasn't going to talk about it because I hate it, but it has the white collar guy in it, and the white collar guy is gay in real life. And
Mm.
in the movie, he plays like this flamboyantly gay dude, and it is so weird because I watched White Collar, and I couldn't do it. It was too weird. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I like
He's an
in
interesting
real
actor
life.
because he sucks at everything else he does.
Yeah, yeah, he's not good in anything else.
I watched the one where he plays the film producer guy, and I was really looking forward to it. And then I was like, he sucks. He's not a good actor. Why is he so good at White Collar
I
and
don't know.
sucks so bad about everything else? And it's not like he always plays that character, so he's only good at that character. It's like straight up like I see him in White Collar and I'm like, yes, he is a con man. I 100% buy it. He's a good looking
Yep.
dude. He's smooth with his words. He's got a great smile. And everything else, I'm like, he's kind of ugly. Kind of like, what happened to his face? What is wrong with his face? What is wrong with his words? He speaks words badly. I don't buy. It's just a wild experience because it's the only situation where I'm like 10 out of 10 at this one role in this one situation. 0 out of 10 anytime I see him in anything else.
I completely agree. The movie is called Outcome, and it's got Keanu Reeves, and he's the main dude in it, and he's this really really famous like Tom Cruise kind of character that everybody loves, and he's a giant movie star, and it's about him like dealing with the pressures of being a movie star. And the side characters are the white collar dude and Cameron Diaz, and this movie is terrible. It's actually awful. They have a bunch of celebrity cameos come in, like David Spade is in it. He plays a fan of Keanu Reeves. There's a random moment where the girl from what's it called? Southern Belle TV show drama. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called right now. But she's a famous actress, and she pops up and she's pregnant, and she's like this white trash pregnant girl for 30 seconds of the show. Freaking weird. I don't know who this movie is for. I don't know why Apple makes such good stuff and they decided to greenlight this piece of garbage because this thing sucks. Terrible.
So
But
just to circle back to our main topic, Kyle XY, I
yeah.
do have a question. You
Totally.
specified the first two seasons. I just looked it up. There are three seasons. Did you make that specification because you've only just recently rewatched the first two seasons, or is there something different about the third season?
There is something different about the third season. Thank you for bringing that up because I was going to talk about it. The first two seasons are basically the mystery of why Kyle is the way that he is and the relationship building with Amanda and the rest of the family. Like that's the first two seasons, and I think it's great. The third season, you get introduced to second season, you get introduced to another character that's dealing with a lot of the same things that Kyle is a good way of putting it. But in the third season, she becomes another love interest and it becomes a love triangle instead of the relationship that I love. And I don't like the triangle. I don't think they do a good job with it. I think it's stupid. I don't like it. Along with that, you know the mystery behind Kyle and why Kyle is the way that he is. And it feels like they just kind of didn't know where to go with the story, but it was a successful show, so they should just keep it going. If they would have had the third season be like, okay, we're taking down the organization that Kyle that is the reason Kyle is the way that he is, and then ended the show, you would have had one of my favorite shows of all time. But instead, the third season becomes kind of a mess in a lot of ways that I don't like.
What about you, Lauren? You think third season is just crap?
Yeah, I stopped after they introduced that character because I was like, this isn't. I did not like the triangle either. So,
Yeah, the character I think the character is good,
mm-hmm.
but doing the love triangle aspect with the character was a huge mistake. I was such a big fan of the show that I was desperately waiting for a fourth season. I was like, come on, get your crap together, give me a fourth season. And they canceled the show, and the director of it said that Kyle was supposed to be a destined superhero and didn't really have anybody that she was going to be able to connect with and love. And I was like, Superman's got Lois Lane. That's bullshit. You're dumb. You're a dumb lady, and you ruined my favorite show. And why did you do that? And I remember being actively mad that they wouldn't let Kyle and Amanda be together. Why wouldn't you do that? They're a great
I
couple. Stupid.
yeah, I also have a problem with like stories where it's like there's this one person and they're very special and unique and different. Oh, here's another person who's just like them, who's special, unique, and different. And I'm like, well, now he's not special, unique, or different. So I hate when they introduce other people who are like, oh, he's not alone in this. And I was like, well,
So,
no,
That's totally fair.
what are your guys' ratings of the show? First two seasons, and then overall with the third season.
First two seasons, I would give probably a solid 9 to. Like, I really like the first two seasons. And then the third season drops all the way to like a 5. I don't think it's a negative show, but it drops a ton. And that leaves the total show as somewhere probably just below an 8 for me because I am big on endings being good. And actually, I got even like a 7.5. I'm big on endings being good. And the ending is one, it doesn't have an ending, it just kind of ends. And third season is just not nearly as good.
Lauren, what about
yeah,
you?
8 without the last season, 6 with the last season. Okay, with that, let's go to Josh's topic. I'm very excited to hear about Taskmaster UK.
Yeah, so I've been watching Taskmaster, the UK edition, and this came up because I have been watching a YouTube series called Ask Hank Anything. And one of the actors is also on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He comes on the show and they talk about Taskmaster. And it's a show that I've seen like clips of on TikTok and found very, very funny. But I never watched the show because there's like 15 seasons or something like that. There's a lot. and I only see like the same 7 clips. So I'm always like, okay, so they were funny 7 times over 15 seasons. I'm not going to waste my time on that show. But then in this episode of Ask Hank Anything, they talk about how hilarious this show generally is, and they got into a debate about which season was the best. And like Conlon, I was kind of feeling down last week, and I just wanted a background show, and that was my intent. I was like, okay, I'll turn it on. It'll be like The Office. I won't really like it, but there'll be some funny stuff here and there. Maybe give it a shot. Whatever. This is genuinely the funniest show that has ever existed. There
Really?
are straight up episodes where I laughed so hard I was choking on my water, spitting across the room. I've been watching it constantly. I was working my first job and I was sitting in my golf cart and I was watching it and I started laughing so loudly that the housekeeping lady that was working on her cart like 30 feet away, she came up to me. She's like, "Are you laughing at me?" And I was like, "No, I'm sorry. It's just this show is so funny." Um, the basic premise is you get 5 comedians, you get them to compete with each other doing stupid tasks, and then they judge those tasks based solely on the taskmaster's opinion. They get points, and each episode starts with like a personal challenge where they have to bring something in. So bring the bluest item, bring the best day pass, day trip, bring the most hairy item or whatever. And then each episode, whoever gets the most points takes home the other people's stuff. So in season one of them brings a blank check because they had to bring the most cash, and he lost, and they made a rule that they were allowed to fill in up to $20,000 onto the blank check. Now, I have my doubts about whether or not they actually follow through and actually like give all of the stuff to the one person. But either way, it was a running gag throughout the stuff. Like, Conlon, what kind of humor is my kind of humor?
Like dry British stuff.
Dry British sarcasm. There is nothing but dry British sarcasm in this show. Some episodes are better than others. Every single one of them gets me to laugh. Some episodes get me to laugh really hard. A few episodes I was laughing the entire time. I went from depressed, not wanting to do anything, to getting home from work, dead tired, saying, "I'm just going to watch one episode," to staying up till 5 in the morning because I can't sleep because I'm laughing too hard. The show's fantastic. I'm on season 5 now. I started it.
That's insane.
It sounds like a lot when you say it that way. The first 4 seasons are like 5 episodes each. Each one's like 20
Oh,
minutes. So it sounds like a lot more than it actually is. Season 5, the one I'm on now, they're doing 10 episodes for the first time. But absolutely watch this show. Like, it is one you can just turn on and just watch. As soon as I'm done watching this show, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to start pressing the shuffle button because Plex has shuffle. And that is a glorious, glorious thing. And I'm just going to keep watching this show all of the time. This is my new background show. Up to this point, I had been watching Friends. And Friends is fine. I don't hate Friends. I think Friends only has one thing in the entire world that it does best. But I was constantly like turning it on and falling asleep or not paying attention to it or whatever. Taskmaster, I could not sleep because I was laughing too hard. I'm not a big laugher. I audibly laugh multiple times, and it is fantastic. Watch this show, Conlon. Watch this show, Lauren. It is more than just the few clips you see on social media. It is so, so good, so funny. Even the group that we have now is my least favorite group so far, and I am still laughing all the time. Like, British comedians doing stupid tasks. It is 100% a me kind of show. It is hilarious. I love it.
there's this one clip where it has this actor that's on Horrible Histories. I think his name's like Matt or something. And they're like, they had to like hit a colored balloon for something. They're reading a story and they have to hit the colored balloon that they say, but it could just be like, oh, I read that, but you have to hit the red balloon because they said red. And then there's this girl who really wanted to win, but she asked, but if you like hit the wrong colored balloon or whatever, then you lose. And She accidentally hit the wrong colored balloon, and she really wanted to win. And he's like, this guy, he's like my hero because he just went and like popped all of his balloons so she could win. And she's like, no, you didn't just do that, because she was like seriously wanted to win, like not just started joking about it, like she was heartbroken that she wasn't going to win this thing. And so he just like pops all of his balloons. She's like, you didn't just do that for me. And I was like, that is a very wholesome moment, because it's supposed to be like funny and stuff, but it was like just really wholesome. And I was like, I knew I liked that guy. But yeah, I love when the Taskmaster things pop up on my TikTok.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like I said, I had low expectations. I see the clip all the time. It's of one of the special tasks that was only given to one person. And his task was to count how many beans are in a tin can of beans. So he sits there and he counts them, and then it cuts to him at the show where they're doing the recording, and he's like, "Did nobody else do that? Are you kidding me?" And then the next commercial break, he had to count how many O's are in a can of SpaghettiOs. And then the third clip, it's how many grains of rice are in a grain of rice. And the last thing he says after counting the grains of rice is, I don't know who's the bigger loser, me for having done this or you guys for having to watch this 5 times. And then it cuts to him in real life realizing that he was the only one who did it, and that they didn't actually have to watch it 5 times. And it is just so funny. They do all kinds of wacky, weird tasks, and it's always funny to me when there's like an obvious answer, and then the taskmaster usually says something like, "These are 5 fully grown, educated adults." Like they had to take a candle outside in the rain to the RV and light a candle in the RV. And, we cut to it and he's like, surely somebody wouldn't just like get up and start running. I mean, it's an open flame. They'd blow out their candle, right? And then it's like, yeah, let's look at this person. And it's that person. He gets up. They're like very gingerly carrying it over. And then they open the door too fast to create a wind current and it blows out the candle. It's so funny. It's sarcasm. It's dry humor. It's British. It's great. It's one of the greatest shows ever created. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Did you rate it already?
So far it's a 10. I can't give it less than that because it's exactly what it is. There's no like criticizing it for being bad, because sometimes people just aren't funny, and it's fine. But like every single episode got me to laugh so far. Like,
Good.
laughing is the best medicine. Laughing is great. Love laughing. It does its job extremely well. We'll see what happens. I'm going to keep watching it. But as for now, that's where I'm at.
Did you just add something, Conlon?
No.
Oh, has that always been there?
Yeah.
Oh, I just barely realized it was like, okay, we'll go back to, we'll go to mine, Project Hail Mary. I watched the movie this week. I went and saw it with my brother and my mom. I have not read the book yet. Because I have the inkling, because I haven't listened to what you guys have said about the movie. I had an inkling that you guys didn't like the movie because you read the book first. So I wanted to watch the movie first, because everyone that I've heard watch the movie and hasn't read the book loves the movie. So I watched the movie and I loved it. I've like literally been talking to Josh.
I'll just interject right there and I'll give you the answer. People who have read the book also love this movie.
Oh, okay.
Conlon loved this movie.
Okay.
I did not love this movie.
Okay.
Josh hated this movie.
Yeah.
Like, despised it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was very wholesome, and I loved like I really liked Ryan Gosling's performance with this. Because like at first when I was like, oh yeah, he's just like this nerdy guy on a spaceship, but like I could feel when he when the other two astronauts he realizes that like he's alone in space. Like I felt for him when he's like, I'm alone, I don't know what's going on, I'm just gonna drink this vodka now. I hope everything goes away. I liked when Rocky's ship comes up next to his and he's like moving and it kept like you could tell and then he sends his message but it was like way too fast, so the second time he like sends the message just like really slow and he's like, they think I'm stupid. It's like, yeah, a little bit. And I like the relationship in between Grace and Rocky and how like his smarts and Rocky's smarts, like they're the missing pieces of each other. And this is like the type of relationship that I wish there was more of in cinema, where people aren't freaking shipping them. I'm so glad that it's like a rock and a person, so nobody can freaking mix with the but are they lovers? I was like, no. Rocky has his darling wife back home, Adrian, and these are just two dudes that, yeah, Josh.
Rocky's wife is a dude.
Rocky's wife is a dude.
That's why you love Rocky so much. He's gay. Their whole species
Oh.
is gay, for the record. But yeah.
Oh, sweet. So his lovely wife, dude, Adrian. So like he's already in a relationship, is established, loves his spouse, and but you still have this really good relationship with Rocky and Grace, because it's like something that's very like bonds them, because they have a very specific thing that happened to both of them where they're the sole survivor of their ship and then they're lonely, but then they're also like uh why can't I think of this word, like they find friendship within each other. And like I know there's some things that are not correct or whatever, but I still loved this movie. And it like broke my heart when I found out that like he didn't want to go to space and they forced him into space. And I was like, I hate everybody on Earth. They can die. I don't care. And so I love the ending that he ended up staying with Rocky and his race. And I love the part where like when he asks the people on Earth and they're like, all right, well, you're going to go up to space. And he's like, well, can I think about it? They're like, yeah, you have 3 hours. And then when Rocky's like, okay, well, your ship, we can take you back to Earth now. And he's like, can I think about it? And he's like, yes, take all the time you need. I was like, I love that parallel. And like, I loved everything about his and Rocky's relationship. I'm really excited to read the book. Because I know I've heard a lot of people just say that there's just like more of Rocky and Grace. I think Ryan Gosling did a really good job. Yeah, I love this movie.
I'm really glad you
The
liked it.
part where he he hugs the dome and then he's like, what is this? It's a hug. And I took a drink right then in the movie theater. I haven't spit out a drink in a really long time. We said, when do you know the hug is done? I literally like choked. I almost died. It was so funny.
I like the part too where Grace is describing like the one relationship he'd had. And he's like, and then she started dating a guy named Mark. And then Rocky's like, I hate Mark. I'm like, see, that's the camaraderie we need. He's like, I don't know anything about Mark, but since he hurt you, I hate him.
hate him.
So, funny thing about that scene, That was improv because
Mm-hmm.
the sound
Really?
guy's name is Mark, and
That's
they voiced
hilarious.
it as a side one-off, like this isn't gonna make it into the movie, but the the boom guy who was recording that exact scene, his name is Mark, and that's why the guy's name was Mark. And what happened was it was just one off, but it was very funny.
Yeah.
That is very funny.
So
I genuinely love the show. The book is way better, and to me, the movie is very very good. So considering how good the movie is and how much better the book is, it's kind of crazy. The book's amazing. Straight
that's
up, it's
why,
amazing.
yeah, that's why I'm excited to read the book. And I thought the visuals were very great in the show. And like, um, there's the part where like Grace gets knocked out and Rocky like sacrifices himself to like get Grace help. Um, but then he doesn't die. Uh, it broke my freaking heart when Grace kept knocking on his like little terrarium thing, but he wasn't like knocking back, and I'm like, my heart.
They did a good job with that. That part in particular is so much better in the book.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Good.
way
Uh,
better.
because yeah, I actually choked up in the movie theater a couple of times. Like, and then when they were like saying goodbye, I was like, no, no, just stay stranded in space. It's better for both of you. But yeah, I think that they portrayed really well like that relationship on screen, and
I agree.
I'm here for more movies like that. Yeah,
So
excited
before
for the
you give
book.
your rating on that, I will take this opportunity to say I was wrong. Not about my rating. I'm not changing my rating at all. But
Okay.
I decided after having watched the movie that if Lauren didn't give a criticism that I felt was the most valid criticism, that I would admit to being wrong about it. And that
Okay.
criticism is there in the movie. There's not a lot of explanation as to why Ryan Gosling does certain things. So I suspected that people watching the movie would be like, why is Ryan Gosling doing that weird thing? For example, taping the stuff to the wall in the tunnel. Like, I felt like that was a very unnatural thing to do. And if I were having watched the movie but not read the book and not understand the purpose of him having to do that, I would have said, why why would he do all of those weird things? But Lauren didn't say that, so I was wrong about that. I will admit that I'm wrong.
Cool.
I'm also just kind of a accept things type of watcher anyway, most of the time.
Yeah, but like I feel like you're logical enough to like call out things for being logically wrong. Like putting a bandage on a bruise, right? Like
Yeah, that's fair.
you're you're somebody that I trust and not somebody just like some rando. So having read the book and knowing that yes, there is a reason behind every weird thing that Ryan Gosling does, and you having said no, I didn't have any like logical issues with why he was doing certain things, I will admit to being wrong about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the book has a lot more explanations and a lot more um whys to things,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't necessarily care about that stuff, but I am excited to read the book.
I do think you'll like the book better because it just
I
is
do too.
better. So, what would you rate the movie, Lauren?
I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. I really didn't have a problem with this movie. I enjoyed it. I think my brother hyped it up a little bit too much, um, but I still really enjoyed it. And then I love talking to people about it. So I think this is like the first movie in a really long while. So I went and watched it in theaters. It's about ready to phase out of theaters. The theater was that I went to go see it in was one of the biggest ones in this megaplex and it was full.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
It's been out for a long time.
Yeah, it was full. It was
Wow.
the most full theater I've been in a while. Like the last time I went to something this full was when I went on opening night to go see Avengers Endgame.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It was projected to make about 300 something million. They're over 700 million in profit already.
Wow.
I'm glad.
Good for them. Good for them.
I'm glad. Um, yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's go to your second topic, Conlon.
Okay. This topic is just for Lauren. I've already shared this band with Josh. I love this band. I love them. Um, the last time that I found a band before they got big that I thought should be huge was 21 Pilots. And I went to 21 Pilots when they had like 12 people and me inside of a concert. Like there was nobody. And he would come out and he would like hang out with everybody. The brothers both would hang out with everybody because they didn't have fans yet. And he went hard then. These guys should be ginormous. They're fantastic, and I guarantee, I promise, Lauren, you will love them. I'm positive. With the type of music that you like, you will love them. I'm going to read some of their lyrics off because I know you're big into that. I've grown to see you changing with the seasons. You were something I believed in. Now the love runs cold. You kept me safe until the water froze and I became too much to hold. Till you let me go, and all the blood that's left inside my heart is not enough to keep me warm. Now the love runs cold. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Now
great.
do it again,
They're
but
so good. I can't sing it. Listen to it. They're so
From the
good.
top.
From the top. Come on. You can sing it.
Nope, can't sing it. I can't do it. Can't do it. I'm going to learn to sing though. It's on my list. But this is a different song. It's called Cold Sets In. But I hate it when the cold sets in, but I love the ways it draws us closer than we've ever been. Holding on to warmth, and I barely felt the spark returning before it left again. I hate it when the story ends, but I love to start again. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I like 100% think these guys should be huge. I've gone to 2 of their concerts now where they open for a bigger artist and everybody's there for the bigger artist. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. These guys are better than the bigger artist. And they're great. Like in person, they sound as good as the recordings. You should listen to their music, Lauren. I have not been certain that you will love something. I've been like, I think Lauren would like this. I think I can recommend it. I am 100% positive you will love this band.
I will listen to them.
Cool. That's all I ask. That's so good.
The lyrics do sound like my speed, so
100%. The music style is your speed. Everything. You will love these guys. I promise. And anybody who's watching, we should make them huge because they deserve it. I don't want this band to fade away. I want them to keep making music until I'm 85. Like, they're great.
And I can die. Just kidding.
Then I can die. Anyway, that was going to be a short little topic, but it was one where Lawrence talked about music with lyrics before multiple times on the podcast. I really haven't done that. And these guys just deserve more attention than they get. They just do.
That's fine. So, is it a 10 out of 10?
They have songs that I would give 10 out of 10s to.
Okay, you heard it here. 10. Set to 10.
There are songs that I literally, like, Red Run's Cold, I literally would not change that song at all. They've got a song called SOS, wouldn't change that song at all. They're really good.
All right, let us go on to our shared topic, Tin Man. I'll start off a little bit because I was the one who suggested this. I had not seen this in years. I remember watching this like when I was in high school. And watching it again. I was just laughing at like whenever anybody's running anywhere, It's like when somebody tells me to run somewhere and it's like me jogging.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. The acting is way worse than I remember. And like the villain is like way sexualized in everything she does. And I was like, why is she eating something with a monkey? Like, why is she leading into tramping with a monkey? It was so weird. Anyway, so I just remembered really liking specifically the Tin Man story on this. And so I suggested it because Josh likes the actor that plays the Tin Man. Um, and like, there's a lot of good actors in this series. And so I have to just blame the director on the bad acting. Because, like, especially a lot of what, like, DJ, as they call her, or JD, um, like, it just sounds like a cold read, is how they're, like, saying everything. So I'm sorry. I did warn you guys. I think I remember that this was like a little campy and that it was like the CGI isn't great and like I was like I don't think the acting is that bad. I'm sorry, the acting is that bad. So anyway, I would like to see how far you guys got into the series. Let's start with you, Josh.
So thank you for putting it that way because so far I'm only through the first episode. Now, nothing to do with the show. I am interested in the show. It is simply I wanted to watch more Taskmaster. Plain and simple, I had to choose between this. And each episode is like an hour and a half. So it's basically watching 3 whole movies, and I just decided to watch Taskmaster instead. I am so glad you brought up the running because I was actually going to open this door and be like, this is how the Tin Man runs, and like genuinely run through here because there's the scene in the forest and like everybody is like actually running. And then there's Zoe Deschanel, and she is doing like the girl going through the flower patch, arms up, skipping run. And I was like, yeah, you look like you're being chased by a bunch of demon dog things. What? Um, yeah, the choreography just isn't great. The Tin Man has like a pistol and he's shooting these things, and he's like, bang, 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 reload, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, none of these dogs are dying. Either you're the worst shot, or this isn't very effective, and you should just give it up. You know, and it's interesting choices. I am interested in the show. I think it's very funny. I don't think it's like a good quality show. But if you had told me this was on the CW in 2007, I'd be like, man, this fits right in. I think that they do a really good job for it being 2007. I don't have any criticisms of the CGI. When they're in the CG spaces, things are very repetitive. There's the scene where they're running through the like castle, and it's just pillar on repeat over and over again. I was like, yeah, don't make anything different. Everything is the same in this giant room. Um, it's very interesting. You know, it's like I said, it's very CW. It's not the Oz. It's the OZ. It's not the Tin Man. It's Tin Man cop guy. It's not the Cowardly Lion. It's like they change it just enough. Um, my like the weirdest part to me was the witch or the sister sending the bat monkeys at the people, not because the bat monkeys look bad, not because the scene doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but because she summons them by pulling apart her shirt and shoving her chest out. I was like,
I mean, they're tattoos, but yeah.
I know, but like she doesn't summon them like off of her body. She goes, "Look at my boobs." Now they're
Like it's
summoned, and
way
I'm
over
like, oh,
sexualized.
what? That is just a weird choice. That is a weird, weird choice. That was very clearly the director being like, I know what sells on TV, so we're gonna make this happen as much as possible. um,
They also never let her close her mouth.
yeah,
So weird.
it's weird. The show is kind of hard to follow sometimes because they put things in like a dreamscape thing at the beginning of the second episode I saw, and I was like, last I saw, sister wanted to kill you. Now all of a sudden you're back at the farm and things are a dream and your parents are acting not like your parents at all. And then she realizes it's a dream, but the parents still look like the parents in the scene. They don't like turn into something else. And I'm like, that's an interesting choice there. You're kind of not conveying to your younger audiences that those, in fact, were not her parents. So interesting choices. I do want to keep watching this show. I am interested in the CW ness of it. I don't think it's bad. I don't hate it. It is fun, but I would put this in the fun, low quality kind of shows. It's free on YouTube, so anybody can watch them. That's what I gotta say about that.
Cool.
Okay.
What's your thoughts, Colin?
Okay, this to me is the epitome of like what we are trying to avoid on this podcast, because it's not bad, but it's not good. It's like that stuff where it's kind of like, eh. And we've talked about how we're trying to watch less in our lives, and to me, this is like epitome of The acting is not horrible. I said the acting's super uneven. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I think there are a few moments where it's good. Mostly it's just kind of not, but it's not horrible. It's passable. The visuals look like they came from 2007 when cheap budgets were like, hey, does anyone know CGI? We'll hire you. Okay, you know CGI? Prove. Oh, hey, we don't need you to prove it. Actually, just come and be on the show, and do stuff. Okay, and so it's not horrible, but it's not good. The story is not horrible, but it's not good. It's kind of interesting. Like, okay, she has robot parents. I guess. Why did that happen? Weird, but okay. Um, her mom is somewhere in the OZ. Who's her mom? That's kind of interesting, I guess. They have way too much like, man, you just need to have a heart because he's a Tin Man. You get it? You get it? He just needs to have a heart. And there's a lot of like corny lines with this where at first I was like, oh, that's kind of good. Good job. And then I was like, okay, you're still doing it. Okay. Okay. Um, and I watched the first two episodes. I will not finish this show. And it's not because it's terrible. We have watched way worse stuff on this podcast. Way worse. I can see why somebody would like this. It has a certain corny charm to it, and it's different in a weird way that I could see working for some people.
Like
It
the
just
CW.
didn't, yeah, it just didn't really work for me. There's some interesting ideas in it. I like where the Tin Man is going. I like the Cowardly Lion, how they put him. I actually think the Demon Dog things are kind of cool. Kind of cool idea. I really like the world prison, like the globe prison thing, and how she has control over the weather. I was like, this is actually really cool. There's good aspects of this story. It's just not enough good aspects for me to want to invest another hour and a half in this show that I think is very, very subpar. I'm giving it like a 6, and I think I'm being a little generous with a 6, but I'm giving it a 6. It's not bad. It's just not. We have a whole list of shared topic ideas. I have a whole list of other things to watch. And in the world that we live in, where there are games coming out all the time, there are TV shows, there are movies, this just, in my opinion, is not worth your time.
That's fair.
What would you rate it, Lauren?
Um, before rewatching it, I probably would have given it like an 8. Now I'm probably giving it a 7, just because the running really bothered me. and like realizing the acting um, wasn't the best kind of took me out of it this time. So I'd give it a 7.
I'm also going to
Okay.
give it a 6, but in parentheses, a fun 6. In the way that CW shows can be fun, even though they can be terrible and bad. But, like, in a world where CW shows were just 3 hours long, wouldn't that be so much better of a world?
That is,
Because I
yes.
feel like every
Yes, it
single
would.
time a CW goes longer than 3 hours, they start running out of things to do. So you'd only have season 1 of The Arrow, you know, maybe a little season 2, but that would be a much better world.
Yes, it would.
So yeah, 6, but in parentheses, a fun 6. Because, like, it is bad, but, like, you can have fun with it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to like Wizard of Oz spin-offs, weirdly.
So do
Um,
Conlon and I. We have one right here. Sort of.
oh, is that the
That's Liza P. Yeah, it
like
alludes to a Wizard of Oz sequel.
yeah. So it's like I like Wizard of Oz spin-offs. They're not my favorite, but I do enjoy them. Um,
I love Wizard of Oz conspiracy theories.
nice. Anyway, we will be watching next week Anaconda, the 2026 with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Hopefully that'll be a fun topic, not an topic. We hope you guys have a good week, better than you had last week. If you had an amazing week last week, I hope it's even better. If you had an LF week like they did, hopefully it's way better. See you guys later. Bye.